How's it going, PokeMoshPit? My name is Noah, YouTube name NoJNP, and I'm here to give you guys a battle against BMP with some numbers afterwards. But I just want to start out the video by saying that Wild Chase is a slut, and probably will be a slut forever, because in the title he is going to say that this is going to be an OU battle, even though this is really a mixed tier battle. My opponent said, alright, here's the deal, I have like one NU, three UUs, or two OUs, or something like that. And he's basically like, alright, I have a mixed tier team, so I'm going to do the same. I'm going to bring some lower tier Pokemon like an Ursaring and a Steelix, UU Pokemon like an Arcanine and a Shaman, and OU like my Choice Scarf Salamence and Choice Scarf Gengar. I really like this team. I really want to get a sweep with my Ursaring. It is Quick Feet, activated by Toxic Orb. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to start off with my lead Arcanine that's holding the Focus Sash. He is going to lead off with a Fortress. And obviously, he does not want to stay in there taking the predicted Fire type attack. And I'm just going to go for that Fire type attack, being a Fire Blast, because this is kind of a mixed and weird lead set. He's obviously going to switch into a Tentacruel. I hopefully want to get a little bit of damage off with the Fire Blast. Unfortunately, I miss, and the next turn I'm going to switch out, even though I do have the Focus Sash, which can potentially not be ruined if he does go for the Toxic Spikes. But I want to go into my Gengar just so I can trick him, the Choice Scarf, so he is locked into a move if he decides to lock himself into the Toxic Spikes, which is interesting because he only has one layer up, which at this point, if he only has one layer up, I can bring my Ursaring at any time. Won't have to wait till the end of turn for the my Toxic Orb to activate, which means I can basically sweep at whatever time I want, and being one layer Toxic Spikes, I won't do too much damage relative to two layers, which of course does more. Anyway, this Fortress is locked in some move because it's Choice Scarf, LOL, Choice Scarf, Fortress, so slow. Anyway, I want to go into my Shaman because I predicted him to go into his Tentacruel, thinking I was going to go for another Focus Blast. Instead, he goes into his Cobalion. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, a Cobalion will not take a Focus Blast from a Gengar too well. Anyway, I'm kind of locked into the situation. I over-predicted. But I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Fire, and it does a decent amount, even though Cobalion could be a little bit bulky. It does about 50% to his health. He's going to go for the Close Combat next turn. And next turn, he could predict me to go for another choice, another HP Fire, so he could switch into his Tentacruel, or he can just stay in and hopefully take another HP Fire. Don't really know if he could. So next turn, I'm going to go for neither the Sea Flare or the HP Fire, predicting either one of his Pokemon to stay in or go out. I'm going to go for the Leech Seed, because if he did KO me off, I would be able to bring another Pokemon, and it would get HP back because of the Leech Seed. Luckily, his Tentacruel does not have the Liquid Ooze ability, which would have not been good if I used the Leech Seed. It probably has the Rain Dish ability, just looking at it, based upon a lot of Tentacruels do have that ability right now. And next turn, I know my Shaman is going to eventually die with the Entry Hazards, and I don't have a recovery move like Rest, so I'm just going to go for the Seed Flare. It does about 40% to him as he takes me out with the Ice Beam, and that's exactly how much I wanted to do, because now I can bring in a Pokemon that's faster, and I can probably KO it off from now. Like I said earlier, I wanted to get the sweep with my Ursaring. I decided not to do a late game sweep. I want to bring it in right now, see what I can do with the Facade being stab boosted, and boosted because I am intoxicated. That's kind of funny to say about a Pokemon. I'm intoxicated, and I take out a Tentacruel with my NU sweeper right here. And he's like, alright, you just use Facade. It obviously cannot KO my Cobalion, so he's going to bring it in. But luckily enough, I also carry Close Combat. So not only do I take out two Pokemon of his team, 1/3 of his team with an NU Pokemon, but Ursaring, I should really change his name to Barely Good to being like amazingly good. I love this Ursaring. But the damage is starting to rack up from the Toxic. He is going to bring in a Flygon. It's probably Choice Scarfed, so I don't really want to risk either not outspeeding it or not KOing it with the Facade. Going to switch out to the Steelix, who should be able to take any hit from him, and he's going to go for the Outrage, lock himself into an Outrage when he knows I have a Steel type who takes this excellently. And next turn, I know he's going to be locked into it again, so I want to get up my Rocks. And interestingly enough, you see that he's going to get a 2-turn Outrage because he's going to be confused after this, and he's going to be locked into the Outrage because obvious Choice Scarf Flygon is obvious. So I know he's going to switch out next turn, so I'm going to go for the Roar because he's going to bring a Pokemon in. It's going to get hurt a little bit by the Stealth Rocks. I'm going to go for a Roar, making him not go into his desired Pokemon and then getting some more Stealth Rocks damage on another Pokemon. That's what's going to happen. The Electros gets a little bit of Stealth Rock damage. Going to go for the Roar, brings in his Fortress. Now I know he's locked into a move once he chooses it because he has the Choice Scarf. I'm thinking he wants to go for the Rapid Spin, because I have my Rocks up and he probably doesn't. I don't really know what he wants to do. I don't have a Rapid Spinner, so what he's going to do is he's going to lock himself into the Spikes. He's going to get one layer up right here as I bring in my Gengar, because again, I thought he was going to go for the Rapid Spin. And next turn, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to outspeed him. I want to go for the focus blast and KO him off. Turns out that's not the case. I want to make us miss a focus blast. He's going to go for a second layer of spike. So I'm like, all right, you're not getting any more entry hazards up. I'm going to go for the focus blast, hit it, and it's going to be all good. But he lives with that sliver of health that you don't believe it's there until he actually makes another move and you realize he's still alive. So that's basically what happens. He has 3 layers spikes up, and I'm going to make the weirdest play ever right here. I want to switch out and go into my Arcanine. One, because Focus Sash is going to be ruined, and just look how much damage my Arcanine takes from all the entry hazards before this guy even makes his move. And two, I know he's locked into these spikes right here, and I know I'm going to KO him off next turn, but I need to bring in a Pokemon that I can properly bait out one of his Pokemon, and I really want to bait out his Mismagius. I believe that's how you say it, because I played a lot of 4th Gen UU. When I saw Mismagius, they were always Calm Mind and a Substitute, and it could potentially be a big problem for my team, so my Arcanine will be able to outspeed it, thankfully. I actually don't know why I outspeed. I thought Mismagius were kind of fast, but anyway, I outspeed it, going to go for the Fire Blast, and I do get a burn, which is nice. I really didn't need the burn as he takes me out the Shadow Ball. I just need to get some damage, which I know I can bring in another Pokemon, and really any other Pokemon on my team should be able to take out with any move that hits it. So I know he has the Shadow Ball. It shouldn't be doing too much to my Steelix, and although Steelix are known to be physically defensive, this one is, I believe, either a sassy nature or just has a lot of special defense EVs. I want to be able to take the Shadow Ball kind of well, and then take him out with the Gyro Ball, and that is going to be the end of this Mismagius, which is kind of the biggest threat on his team that I really don't have to deal with anymore. And now he's going to bring in Flygon, thinking that, like, oh, this Steelix took that special attack so well, it's obviously not going to live this super effective stab Earthquake, but that's not the case because Steelix is a boss, and I want to live that in the red zone. And then I want to go for the Gyro Ball, because with the Gyro Ball, because I'm so slow and because he's so fast with the Choice Scarf, and the difference of the speed means the attack is so much higher, it's going to do a massive amount to his Flygon. And I decided, he's locked into the Choice Scarf Earthquake. I know my Gengar will be able to be immune to it because I do have a Levitate, and I can use my Steelix as death fodder for next time. So I'm like, why not? He's going to either have to switch out, or he's going to have to leave his Flygon in his death fodder. He decides to switch out into his second to last Pokemon, being his Electros, and I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball. I thought it was going to be a 2 KO, but after you see the leftover damage, it's probably not, even if that was absolute min, and I got absolute max damage last time. But I'm thinking, I am at full health, he probably can't take me out with only one Thunderbolt, so I can easily 2 KO this Electros with 2 more Shadow Balls. Turns out he lives it, he's going to go for the Dragon Tail, and Dragon Tails me out into my Ursaring, which I calculated it, I will be able to take out 2 more Pokemon if that's the case. So I'm like, oh my god, Ursaring's going to get 2 more kills in this game, going to finish off Sweep, Ursaring, you're going to be a boss. So that's basically going to be the case in a sense, I will be able to easily outspeed this Electros, easily take you out the Facade, and I will be able to live in a little amount in the red zone, being to a 2 HP. I'm like, oh my god, I want to take out this Flygon, I'm a boss, and then it turns out he's faster than me, and that's just a sad face. I really wanted to win with my Ursaring. That's not going to be the case. And the next turn, I'm just going to bring my Salamence, which is also Scarfed, so we're in a speed tie. I do win it, which means I'm just going to be able to take him out with some Dragon move, being an Outrage, and that will mean either a 2-0 or 3-0 against my opponent. Anyway, this was a fun battle. Mixed Tier is a lot of fun because it's not the Pokemon that you always see, and it's just a little bit more relaxed. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment and give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a dislike, all that stuff. Thanks guys for watching. Have a lovely day, PM.